All right. Welcome back to another episode. If you're new here, my name's Christian Clay, and what you're looking at to the right of me is a Lennar home. So is this. All tours, right? We're going to leave these running in the background because today we're going to talk about what it's like to purchase a Lennar home in Central Florida. As you all know, my team and I, we sell a lot of new construction. We help a lot of you all out. And so I want to just scratch the surface for people that are wanting to know what it's like to purchase with Lennar. Kind of a, like I said, entry level pros and cons that we're going to run through. We won't make this too long, okay? So let's get right into it. I do want to mention that Lennar, they're America's #2 builder behind D.R. Horton, and this is based on units sold. So they sell the second most homes in America. And we're walking, this is the spec home, obviously. You're like, what's going on with this home? They have levels to their builds, right? They can build some very nice $1 million homes, and they have. But for the most part, I would think the bulk of Lennar's business are going to be the smaller entry level homes. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Okay. So let's just start with the cons. Number one, and you may not know this, but they are super salesy, very hardcore salesy. It's a shark eat shark world in the Lennar industry. And I'm talking about the reps. They will do whatever they have to do to get the sale, right? They can be working in one city and they will stop what they're doing and fly to the next city that they have no idea about to try to sell you a home, if they can cross sell like that. That's an extreme example, but it's something like that. I even feel this way when they work with each other inside of like the models, right? You usually have a few reps that work with each other. I mean, we've done deals with people where they are kind of arguing amongst themselves on who's going to get the deal, right? And we're trying to buy a home here for our people. So it just feels very, with that, it's two things, right? They're either engaging with you heavily because they know you're going to buy, or they're neglecting you. They're not really paying attention to you. And so that's kind of what you get, a really big contrast in the process, and it just doesn't feel sincere, okay? So that's one thing. Number two, they have very minimal interior finishes for you to choose from, okay? I was talking about them being able to build big, nice homes. But if you're looking right here, you see this gray countertop right here with the white shaker style cabinets. I feel like there may only be one more package to choose from. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get to the kitchen. Take a look at it. I want to show you the white with the gray. Let's see if they have that here. Oh, there it goes again, right? Like two different homes. And let's see if we can go to this one. This has the gray as well. Didn't do that purposely, I promise you that. So while that's loading, that's the Freedom model. Yeah, so as you can see, very minimal, right? You get this 18 by 18 inch tile. I feel like when it comes to the countertops and the cabinets, you just don't get a lot of options to choose from. There may be another option to choose from on this package of home that we're talking about, the entry level builder. So that's one downside to it, right? You're in there, there's nothing that really wows you, but it's definitely a livable home. And then lastly, on the cons is they are very strict when it comes to agent representation. So if you ever hear our videos and we're talking about be very careful of walking into the model, if you have an agent that you're working with and you're just on vacation one day and you walk into a model, their objective is to get your information down and not necessarily sell you a home. Then they probably would try to, but like if they put down that you don't have an agent there with you, they're going to try to force out your agent representation. What does that do for you? I mean, if you want to have representation on your side, especially, with a builder like this that builds a lot of freaking homes, it's a long process. It's not just about going under contract and going to closing. There's a lot that can happen in there, good and bad. But either way, so like, even if you were to go to, like, for instance, you see this right here, usually they'll have some sort of scan code and you can do like your own walkthrough of the home by yourself. If you're driving through, you see this little scan code down here? You may not be able to see it. There's a scan code right down here. Oh, you can't see it. Either way, so you can do your own walkthrough if you just scan and fill out your information. Any information that you give them, if you don't put down that you have representation, they are going to squeeze. I feel like sometimes if you don't get out of the car at the same time of your real estate agent, once again, that's an extreme example there, but that's how the feeling feels, okay? So you guys have that. You kind of understand what's going on there. So those are just kind of surface level the cons with them. I will talk about the pros. One of the biggest pros to Lennar is they do the biggest price cuts. They do the biggest price cuts, and sometimes it's almost like they didn't even care. Like they don't, they'll cut if things aren't going right and they're ending the quarter or the year. The price cuts that we see with them are just like, that was a huge freaking price cut. And so it's nothing compared to like what DR would do with like their red tag event and such. And we talk about this on the channel all the time. We would like to view these builders as people that build homes because they're passionate about building homes and helping people. I'm not saying they are not, but their job is to sell homes. It's a number thing, right? They need to see those numbers being hit. And so for that reason, when they're in a bind, they will definitely drop the price. Lennar is probably the biggest that I've seen for sure. I will say this, for the entry level, their exteriors are actually pretty nice looking. I'm going to rewind this back right here. Look at this right here. Now you may be saying to yourself, that doesn't look nice. But when you compare this to like a DR home, I'll take this all day. Even though it does have the board and bat here with the Hardy board up top. Some people like it, some people don't. But you see this over here as well? Now let me go to the next one. See if we can get a look at that. See, I think their exteriors for the entry level are actually pretty nice looking, honestly. And even over here, let's see if we can find this one here. Freedom. Cool. You see this Freedom model right here? Like this is believe it or not, we're going to talk about this one next, but it just looks a little different than your traditional entry level home. And so I always thought they had pretty nice exteriors for the price points that they're at. Okay. And then to me, we're walking into this one right here. I think they have the best floor plans for in-law suites, right? They call them like multi-gen floor plans. We're walking into one right here, believe it or not. And the reason I say that is because a lot of builders do have these in-law suites inside of their homes, but you have to walk through the front door first, and then you walk into the in-law suite door. Check this out. There's a private entrance. There are other builders that do this, but they're doing this on a national level. They're not a custom builder. They're America's #2 builder per unit, and they offer this little private entryway right here. Whereas most builders, you have one entryway, and then you have to go into the in-law portion of the house as if it was a room. So I think this gives you a lot more privacy. A lot of people, when they see this, they're like, this is awesome. This is cool. Obviously it comes with kitchen and all of that good stuff. So now with those things out of the way, I do want to talk about the quality of the build, right? This is neither a pro nor a con. We talk about this in our videos a lot, which by the way, make sure you subscribe so you can see all of the videos. That's going to be based on who you have in the community as the construction manager. Your community, the workmanship of the finishes in the community are only going to be as good as the construction manager in your community. If your construction manager is somebody that is a little lazy and they get things done last minute, right? Meaning that they have a few closings coming up or a few walks coming up and they use that last day to try to scrape through all of that stuff, there's a good chance it's not going to look good. It is not. Now, if you have a construction manager that's on top of things and they care about the product, both of these construction managers are selling the same product. They're putting the same tile in the home, the same cabinetry, obviously the same, look, once again, the same countertops, right? But that's what you're looking for. Like when the mitering on the door, right? You have the door frame, the miter is like that 45 degree. If a construction manager is lazy, you can see the mitering doesn't look good. They're trying to fill it with caulk, right? And it's like all open and such. Whereas somebody that's more on top of their product and they have the time to critique it a little bit, they just get things done in a little better manner. And that's just my opinion. So yes, the bad could be very bad. Not like your home falling down bad, right? Not structurally bad, but like the finishes could be pretty poopy. But the good could be pretty good. And we've seen good with Lennar. So I'm not here, but I'm telling you right now, like out of all the entry-level builders, I've seen good with Lennar where I was just like, that was pretty cool. That was a good quality process with that construction manager, with finishing up the home, with them getting the things taken care of. So there you have it. Just scratching the surface. That's what it's like to purchase with Lennar inside of Central Florida. If you're somebody that's, wanting to buy, it doesn't have to be new construction. And we sell resales, we list homes all the time, but you see that team at morefla.com, you just send us an email and we will get right on top of it. I think you'll be very, very pleased with our process. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.